Good evening, everybody. Hi. Hi. Good evening, everybody. This is Advocate Kanika Agrawal from Viasat Foundation. And it's very auspicious day for everybody to gather here. I guess it's saddening for everybody because we have an incident happened 2 years back. And also, I guess I feel very empowered that we all together, maybe few people, but at least we are voicing against an issue which is very prominent in the society right now, and which, and we are facing a lot of issues right now in the society which should be given voices, and we all should stand against it. And so today here we are to stand against an issue which is right now prominent in the society, and and I welcome everybody here for this session with whole of my heart, and a lot of people who have attended and given time for this session. I can able to see many people who I know it's a Saturday. People might be giving a spare time for their own selves, but I really want to thank everybody to spare few moments from their own schedule and give this time to us. So moving ahead, firstly, I would like to introduce a very prominent personality between us. So we have Maheshi Dr. S.K. Narayan Swami, sir, and I really want to thank you first of all, sir, before giving an introduction of yours to accept our notice and present yourselves in front, between us in such a short notice. So he is the founder and chairman of Sanatan Dharma Foundation. So I would request sir to inaugurate the session so that we can move ahead, and we will really looking forward to hear you once, sir, if you could. So your session is muted, sir. Shriram, sir.
Thank you, Kanika, and thank you, Swamiji, for gracing this occasion and for agreeing to inaugurate this session. It is always insufficient to have an introduction for someone as multifaceted as Swamiji to be here. But nevertheless, as an introduction is necessary in this kind of formal functions, I'm welcoming and I'm thanking Swamiji for being here. Secondly, Sana Hakim, who's here, for delivering this lecture. Thank you so much, ma'am. In spite of your busy schedule, you graced the occasion. We have with us P.K. Rajan, sir, who's the father of late Swaroop. The tragedy, of course, we're trying to grapple with. It's more than a civil case or a criminal case when it comes to late Swaroop Raj, whose memory as well as the case we are wishing to deliberate through this particular event. I would just firstly request Swamiji to declare this event to be inaugurated so that I would be able to say a few words about everyone and about this issue before we start the lecture. Swamiji, you can just declare the function as inaugurated and bless all of us.
Namaskaram. Namo Narayan. कल सुन रहे ना सब लोग?
जी आपकी आवाज आ रही है, जी आपकी आवाज आ रही है, बोलिए बोलिए।
कल राजन जी से मिला, अभी उनका वेट से उन्होंने बात करने के टाइम उनसे मैं कुछ डिटेल मेरा मन में आ गया। विदाउट उन्होंने कुछ नहीं बोला है, छोटा छोटा वर्ड्स में मेरा से बात किया है। ह्यूमन लाइफ में ईश्वर ने विदाउट आवर परमिशन हमारा नियरेस्ट लोग को लेके जाता है, क्योंकि ईश्वर हमारा से ज्यादा उनको प्यार किया था इसका मतलब हम उनको प्यार नहीं दिया कर कि नहीं, हमारा से ज्यादा ईश्वर को प्यार किससे हुआ? राजन जी का बेटा स्वरूप से हुआ। वो हमारा बेटा भी है, हमारा भाई भी है, सब है। अभी हमारा सभी मन का अंदर उन्होंने एक एक सेकंड, एवरी सेकंड, अभी हम मेमोरियल डे करके बोल रहे हैं, एवरी सेकंड आप लोग का सबका, कल से मेरा मेमोरीज में भी आ गया, एवरी सेकंड उनका मेमोरीज मैं थिंक किया, मेरा बेटा लोग, मेरा भाई लोग का बेटा लोग, हमारा नाइबर्स का बेटा लोग, सभी बच्चों, कोई इस पे कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है। राजन जी का बेटा हमारा बेटा जैसे कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है, मगर हम क्या कर सकते हैं? ईश्वर की इच्छा से उन्होंने ईश्वर के पास पहुंच गया, अच्छा मन से गया होगा ना गया होगा हमें मालूम नहीं, और ईश्वर ने लेके गया है। अभी हम लोग सब लोग दुखी होगा, राजन जी का फैमिली का, सबका, हमारा फ्रेंड्स सबका, कैसे हम लोग भूल जाते हैं। उनका साथ हम ट्रैवल किया, बैठा, खाया, पिया, पढ़ा, डिस्कस किया, बहुत सारा डिस्कशन। ईश्वर ने कहां तक उनका छोटा एज में पहुंचना था, इससे ज्यादा हाइट पे पहुंचवा दिया वो एज पे। हमें एक अच्छा ऑर्गेनाइजर, क्या क्या उनको हम लोग बोल सकते, इससे ज्यादा हाइट पे उन्होंने पहुंच गया। और भगवान ईश्वर ने हमारा से प्यार से वो फ्लावर को निकाल के लेके गया। वो फ्लावर हमारा साथ चाहिए था, उसका खुशबू, उसका एनर्जी, वो फ्लावर से हमें मिलते, कितने अच्छा एनर्जी हमें देता था उन्होंने उनका लाइफ में। कितना लोग को, नॉट ओनली राजन जी के फैमिली ना फ्रेंड्स को, ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड के लिए उन्होंने कितना असेट था। ईश्वर से हम झगड़ा नहीं कर सकते, फिर भी मैं झगड़ा कल भी किया है, कल थोड़ा झगड़ा किया, क्यों ऐसे कर रहे? मैं सभी सर्कमस्टांस कवर करके आया है, सिचुएशंस कवर करके आया हुआ आदमी है। डिफरेंट एज पे, मेरा 18 साल, 48 एज पे, 58 एज पे सभी मेरा वेरी नियरेस्ट लोग को ईश्वर ने ऐसे लेके गए। इसलिए राजन जी का पेन मुझे बोल के देना का, फिर भी अभी इतना ज्यादा बात करके क्या फायदा है? उन्होंने हैप्पी रहना है, उनका आत्मा को नित्य शांति मिलना दो। राजन जी का फैमिली, आप लोग को, ऑल फ्रेंड्स, सबको सेम टाइम हमें क्या चाहिए? जस्टिस मिलना है, सिंसियर जस्टिस भी मिलना चाहिए। आगे से ऐसे कोई भी हमारा बेटा बेटी को ऐसे एक सिचुएशन आने का चांस नहीं है। एक सेकंड अगर उन्होंने ओवरकम कर सकते वो सिचुएशन, डिसीजन लेने से पहले कुछ भी नहीं होता था उनको। वो एक सेकंड ईश्वर ने उनको टाइम नहीं दिया थिंक करने की। इतना बुद्धिशाली था, इतना धैर्यशाली था, इतना खूबसूरत लड़का था, सब कुछ था, मगर वो एक सेकंड ओवरकम करने के लिए उनसे नहीं हो पाया। इसलिए उन्होंने हमारा साथ फिजिकली उन्होंने नहीं, बाकी हमारा सबका मन का अंदर उन्होंने बहुत स्ट्रांगली, बहुत प्यार से हमारा सब साथ में है। तो अभी क्या बोलूं, इनॉग्रेशन क्या है? एवरी टाइम उनका मेमोरी से हम लोग रहना है, उनके लिए प्रार्थना करना है। राजन जी के पेन में हम लोग का सबका पेन है। ईश्वर ने शांत, सुख शांत देने दो, सबको मन को ताकत देने दो। आना वाला दिन में किसी को भी ऐसे एक सिचुएशन आ कि हमारा से हमें छोड़ के जाने का चांस नहीं देना है ईश्वर करके हम प्रार्थना करते। सबको मेरा मंगल।
I guess words have already said that. This movement actually, I'll also share one thing if we do it. I was also not a I also have met a sir before, but I met Rajan sir. So his humbleness, his kindness, had built a lot of things in me. And in touch with them. That is where I always feel like whatever I can do, I'll just always do something for Swaroop sir and Rajan sir. So moving ahead, I would request Shriram sir to just say a few words about the session so that we can.
Thank you, Kanika. It's not only me. I think many of us are enamored by the presence of our guests, and we are so happy to have well-wishers of Swaroop. We are, it would be very difficult for me to introduce all of you now, because let's get into the session. And in the meantime, we would all wish to hear from everyone. But now let me just request Stana ma'am to start the second Swaroop Memorial Lecture. Deepak sir, are you here? I mean,
Yeah. Shriram, before that we have a special guest.
That's what I was asking, whether he's there, because I couldn't see another
2 minutes.
device logged in. Kanika, we have with us Dr. Bharat, and if you could just take the honors of introducing Dr. Bharat for our audience.
Yeah. So we have another and very special guest with us, and he's Dr. Bharat Singh from Prince Institute of Innovative Technology, and also he is an eminent scientist. So we welcome you with whole heart, and thank you for accepting our invitation and present with us in such an session, so that we could we are here. So thank you so much, sir, for being here. So if you could just enlighten us with 2 words so that we could able to hear you.
ओम शांति। ये समय अभी हमारे श्रद्धेय आदरणीय स्वामी जी ने काफी शब्दों का कहा, वो काफी है अपने मन में अपनी अंतरात्माओं की भावना को उजागर किया। ये ऐसा वक्त है लाइफ में कभी किसी को भी आ सकता है, लेकिन जो स्वरूप राज जो स्टेप लिया, उनके साथ जो जीनियस क्राइम हुआ, लेकिन उनको हिम्मत नहीं तोड़नी चाहिए थी। आपकी अपनी हिम्मत से उनको काम चुके। स्ट्रगल इज लाइफ, लाइफ इज स्ट्रगल। ऐसा कुछ हुआ उनके साथ, इतनी कॉन्स्पिरेसी के साथ, वेल प्लान उनके साथ ऐसा किया, लेकिन उसको फेस करना चाहिए। पर एनी हाउ, जैसा स्वामी जी, श्रद्धेय स्वामी जी ने कहा कि ये हमारे हाथ में नहीं है। शायद ऐसा टाइम पर जो लोग जाता है वो इतना दुख नहीं होता है, इतनी आत्माएं दुखी नहीं होती, लेकिन अनटाइमली जो इंसिडेंट हुई ड्यू टू सम वेरी बैड प्लानिंग के साथ ऐसा हुआ, ये वास्तव में दुखदाई है। मैं इस समय उनके साथ यही कह सकता हूं कि यहाँ पर जो भी उपस्थित हैं, ऐसा कोई भी इंसिडेंट या ऐसा कोई कष्ट अपनी लाइफ में आता है तो आप संघर्ष के साथ उसको फेस करेंगे। उनके साथ अनजस्टिस हुआ, लेकिन उनको फेस करना चाहिए। शायद उनकी कहीं एजुकेशन में जब इतना ब्रिलियंट वो थे, इतना होनहार एक शख्स थे इस जो इंडिया का नाम करते, अपने परिवार का नाम करते, लेकिन उस ईश्वर ने उनको ले लिया। मेरा तो ईश्वर से यही प्रार्थना है कि ईश्वर आपने अमीश उनको अनटाइमली अपने पास बुलाया है, जरूर ऐसा शक्ति प्रदान करें उस फैमिली के लिए जो इतने कठोर कष्ट हो, इतने दुख हो, वो सहन करने की शक्ति उनको मिलेगी। और ईश्वर से ये भी प्रार्थना करता हूँ जो उनके परिवारजन हैं, जरूर इस दुख को सहन करने के लिए उनको शक्ति ईश्वर देगा, क्योंकि ये नेचर का नियम है, वो बैलेंस जरूर करता है। आपसे इतना प्रिय शख्स को लिया है, तो ईश्वर, मेरा ये मानना है कि ईश्वर उस कमी को जरूर कैसे नहीं किसी रूप में आपको जरूर पूर्ण करेगा। जरूर, जो बैलेंस तो नेचर भी करती है, ईश्वर भी बैलेंस करता है। हम सबको जाना है, लेकिन ये हमको पता नहीं कि कब जाना है। इतना ही सब, यही हिडन पूरा एजेंडा है ईश्वर का या इस ऑलमाइटी पावर का। तो मेरे उनके पेरेंट्स को भी यही मैं कोई ऑर्डर तो नहीं दे, मैं सजेशन ही दे सकता हूँ कि आप उस शख्सियत को याद करना जरूरी है, चूंकि वो तो भूल नहीं सकते हैं आप, लेकिन जो जिस तरह से उनके साथ हुई, बहुत संघर्ष आप कर रहे हैं, उसके लिए हम सब आपके साथ हैं और इस संघर्ष को जरूर आप फेस करिए, आगे तक ले जाइए। पर स्वरूप राज को मेरा इतना ही कष्ट रहा कि स्वरूप तुमने इस घटना को फेस क्यों नहीं किया, आपने स्ट्रगल क्यों नहीं किया इसके अगेंस्ट में, आपने अपनी इतनी बहुमूल्य जो ईश्वर ने प्रदान की थी आपके माध्यम से, उसको ऐसी सेकंड्स में आपने दे दिया। ये इसको मैं अप्रिशिएट नहीं करूंगा। हो सकता है उनकी मानसिकता उस समय या मानसिक असंतुलन कैसा था, ये तो उसी समय उन्हीं को पता होगा, लेकिन इसको हिम्मत से उनको फेस करना चाहिए थे। पर एनीवे ऐसा हुआ, इस रीजन से हुआ, तो ईश्वर से भी प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि ईश्वर तुमने उनको ऐसे अनटाइमली लिया है, आप अपने चरण कमलों में उनको स्थान प्रदान करना और उनको अभी जो सक्सेस दी थी उससे और महान बना के इस अमीश ब्रह्मांड को वापिस करना और हमारे जो सामने बैठे इनको जरूर शक्ति देना, जिससे ये कष्ट सहन करने का जरूर उनको अमीश ऐसी स्थिति न हो जो उनका कोई मानसिक संतुलन खराब हो। ये जरूर हम ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करेंगे। मेरा तो एज ए साइंटिस्ट में यही कह सकता हूँ कि ये दुनिया का एक चक्र है, ये चक्र हमेशा सेम नहीं रहता है, ये बदलता है, नेचर भी बदलती है, तो हम तो कुछ नहीं है उनके सामने। तो ये सब एक बदलाव है, स्थिति आपकी भी बदलेगी, आपको एक सेटिस्फेक्शन, आपका जो मानसिकता जो अभी इतना डिस्टर्ब है, ईश्वर जरूर आपका उसको बैलेंस करेगा, किसी रूप में जरूर बैलेंस करेगा, आप इसको निश्चित मानिएगा और इस कष्ट को सहन करने की जरूर आप अपने को स्ट्रांग और बनाइए, अपनी स्ट्रांग विल पावर अपने पास जनरेट करिए, तो जरूर आपका ये कष्ट भी दूर होगा। ईश्वर जो कुछ लेता है तो उसके बैलेंस पे जरूर कुछ न कुछ देता है, यही बैलेंसिंग उसकी प्रक्रिया है। तो आप इसको ही मान के आप जरूर इसको सहन करेंगे और ये सारे जो लोग जितने इंटेलेक्चुअल यहाँ बैठे हैं, हर फील्ड के लोग बैठे हैं, जो रियली उस महान आत्मा के लिए हम श्रद्धांजलि देते हैं, उनकी आत्माओं को शांति के लिए प्रार्थना करते हैं ईश्वर से, और आपको शक्ति प्रदान करने के लिए भी ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करते हैं। आप सब लोगों का इनके साथ सहयोग है, इसके लिए धन्यवाद। हम भी आपके हमेशा साथ हैं, जैसे भी हैं आपके साथ हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच। ओम शांति।
Thank you, sir, for those kind words. Thank you, both Bharatji and Swamiji, for joining us in such short notice. And I'm sorry that Sana ma'am had to wait a few minutes extra than what was earlier on planned according to her schedule, because we had the privilege of having guests who are, who come to us just right now. Sana ma'am, I think we will start off with the second Swarup Memorial lecture, and I request Kanika to just give a very short intro of Sana ma'am before she starts.
All right. So moving ahead with the next session is everybody is moved by this incident of Swarup sir. So we thought of having this lecture because so that we do not want any other child or any other son or any other father to lose his near one. So this lecture, this session or the second part is mainly to focus that so that everybody knows their right, everybody should stand against this kind of discrepancies when they face. So for delivering this lecture, we have Sana Hakim. She is a litigation lawyer by profession, having more than a decade of experience. She is also co-founder and partner at Posh at Work. Posh at Work is a legal organization which works for these kind of practices. And through her work, she had handled more than 300 cases of sexual harassment and conducted over 400 trainings during her session period. So we welcome you, ma'am, and thank you for accepting our invitation. And we would like to hear you now. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kanika. And all the VRS Foundation, I think are doing a commendable job. Please accept my heartfelt condolences, Mr. Rajan, for your loss, which cannot be compensated. I think if everybody has spoken about it, I would not like to speak more about it, but just please accept my heartfelt condolences for that. So today's topic, I've been given the task of speaking on a very important topic, which is part of what I do on an everyday basis, literally. We will be discussing, and the topic which was given to me when Kanika spoke to me was, how do we ungender the law, a posh law, which is based on, or rather for women? It's prevention of sexual harassment at the workplace. That's the law, right? What are the challenges, the takeaways that we've encountered so far? So I would want to cover some basic ideas, some legal concepts, but not making it sound like a legal jargon, because I know already there are experts from the legal field today in this session as well. So taking respect to that fact, also, I would also want to harp on certain concepts, or maybe specify certain aspects which may get missed out, which are very part of our daily lives, but how do they get missed out of our understanding, notions, approaches, attitudes, is what something we'll be discussing today. I hope to discuss today with all of you. I would also want to also invite all of you all to please come forward and share perspectives. It's not only a lecture, but also a discussion. So I would invite on ask questions. I will not be holding back or refraining from asking questions, and nor should you. So at any point in time, if there's any query, question, confusion, please feel free to stop me and I will answer that question as well. I would also want to be cognizant of the time, because we have time only till 7, and I do have a substantial amount of ground to cover as well in today's session. Yeah, so I will just get to it, and I want to start off with a quick understanding of. I'll just share my screen in a bit. Yeah, please do let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am, we can. We all.
I just want to know, and I just want to throw it open to everybody today present over here, because we'll just be breaking down the term gender, because like I said, this law is gender specific. There are organizations that have gender neutral policies. There is a sea change in understanding of what the term even gender means and implies. So I just want to understand from this group today, if you had to give me some attributes or characteristics of what a woman is, what are the characteristics that one might, put upon or attribute to a woman? How should a woman be? Any thoughts, like, or just it may be your personal opinion, it can be what you see around in the society, what you have understood, or what you may or may not relate to, but you've heard more often. Like, what is a woman like? What are the characteristics or personality of a woman supposed to be? Anyone? You can unmute yourself, or sensitive, right? Thank you. Any other characteristics you can think of?
I guess I'll just say what I think society thinks of
Sure.
as a woman.
Sure.
I guess society think women as in, like, yes, Shreya, I don't know about her, but she, like, yes, she's considered as an insensitive, she considered as an weakening or the inferior part of the society. That is where these kind of laws comes up to support the women. That is where the concept of gender neutral also generates, because society don't give that much power to the women. That is what society thinks of about a girl or about the women.
So you're saying the society perceives the woman as a sign of weakness or a weak gender, so as to speak? Okay. Shreya says sensitive, caring. Any other characteristics that are attributed? औरत के लिए क्या बोला जाता है, कैसी होनी चाहिए औरतें, कैसी होती है नॉर्मली? झगड़ालू होती है, अच्छी होती है, बुरी होती है, कैसी होती है? Anything that comes to your mind? Sorry? Sushil honi chahiye. Okay, fair enough. Anything else? Even the men can speak. It's not only, nurturing, understanding, quiet. Thank you. It's not only a question posed only to the women in the group today. It's for everybody. Any other attributes?
Thank you. I can add.
Yes,
I can
please.
add.
Yes.
Yeah, it is not about what the woman should be like. Woman should be like any, she should live her life the way she wants to.
Right.
There should not be any restriction.
Okay.
That society should not come with certain kind of restriction. The woman should be sushil, or should be this and that, etc. Woman has equality. What about equality? If we are talking, we are living in a society when we talk about gender equality, when we talk about woman empowerment. So I'm not talking about woman empowerment. I'm not talking about excess of woman, misuse of law by women. I'm not talking about that. But what I am talking about women is that the woman should be free as any other human being. And
Thank you
she
so
should
much,
lead her
Mr.
life.
Singh.
She should lead life the way she wants.
Right.
That's all.
Right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Singh, for sharing that. But my question was, I agree with you 100%. I'm a woman, so I'm biased that way. So I'm going to agree with that. But I'm saying that what are the attributes? And this is just a more general question. We are not judging anybody here. If you're coming up with also instances or characteristics. But so far, I'll just live with whatever I have. I have sensitive, caring, nurturing, understanding, quiet, ladylike, right? Any others before I move forward? Any other would like to chip in? Understanding.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to share.
Sure.
मतलब मैंने आपका जैसे ये शब्द सुना तो मेरी भांजी है, मेरी भतीजी है, तो उसने बोला कि
जी।
संस्कारी होनी चाहिए.
जी
She is in class 6.
जी
Yeah.
ओके तो संस्कारी
तो
होनी चाहिए.
हाँ, उसने बोला ये, मगर मेरे कुछ और थॉट है, बट आई जस्ट मुझे लगा कि हाँ उन लोग के दिमाग में ये बहुत सारी चीजें जाती है, तो उसने तुरंत बोला, तो आई जस्ट शेयर विद यू.
संस्कारी का मतलब क्या होता है? मतलब संस्कारी अगर आप
संस्कारी मतलब चीजों का
पहनावे
पालन
में?
कर, हाँ हर चीज में.
अच्छा, हर एक चीज
संस्कारी
में
सिर्फ पहनावे में नहीं, सब
जी।
चीजों में, मतलब बात माने, बाहर समय पे जाए आए, हर चीज पूरा
जी।
संस्कार सब कुछ होना चाहिए. तो
जी।
गुण बोलते हैं जिसको हिंदी में.
सर्वगुण संपन्न होनी चाहिए.
हाँ,
जी,
तो
जी,
वो
जी।
6th क्लास में तो उसने ये बताया, तो आई जस्ट शेयर विद.
ठीक है, थैंक यू जी. तो बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग रिस्पॉन्सेज मिले, थैंक यू वेरी मच. ठीक है, हम दूसरे भाग पे जाते हैं. आदमी कैसा होना चाहिए? इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बोलो या जनरली बोलो, आदमी किसे कहते हैं? क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होने चाहिए एक असली मर्द के हमारी सोसाइटी में? मर्द कौन कहलाता? क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होने, क्या बिहेवियर्स होना चाहिए, क्या पर्सनैलिटी होनी चाहिए एक आदमी के लिए हमारे सोसाइटी में, उसे आदमी कहलाने के लिए?
Bold, I guess.
I'm sorry.
Bold, courageous,
Okay, bold, courageous,
decision maker. I guess that is the.
decision maker. Yes, that's right. Earns for the household.
I'll request Shreya, ma'am, just to unmute yourself and speak, please. We would love to hear you. We get seeing your responses on the chat box.
She earns. They are saying they earn for the household.
Shreya, can we hear from you something?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like mentioning typically that's what is perceived, that if it's a man, then he's the one who takes care or has the responsibility to provide for the house, and we typically, stereotypically, women have the responsibility to maintain the house. So that was what I was saying.
Correct. I'm talking about the stereotypes only. I'm talking what are the stereotypical notions of how a man should be. That's my question. So thank you, Shreya, for sharing that. So far we have brave, bold, courageous, strong, earns for the household, provider, decision maker. Any other attributes that are normally attributed to a man in our society? It may not be a wrong, it may not be your personal opinion also. It may just be what you've heard. Okay, can a man be emotional, sensitive?
He can,
Is that-
but we don't perceive him as being an emotional.
Okay, all right. Okay.
He
Fair
can,
enough.
he should, but society don't perceive him.
Sure. Okay. All right. Thanks, Kanika. How about a trans person? Have you heard of transgender? जिसे किन्नर कहते हैं, या जो transgenders community से होते हैं, उनकी क्या धारणा होती है? How are they supposed to be in society? Have you heard of any attributes that are normally attributed to trans persons? कोई personality traits जो उनके लिए ही बोली जाती है? No one.
People see them very differently in our society. They do not perceive any kind of traits or characteristics for them.
Yes. उनको शायद पर्सनालिटी ही नहीं हो सकती, उनकी शायद ह्यूमन टेंडेंसीज नहीं हो सकती, प्रेफरेंसेस नहीं हो सकते, ऐसा उन्हें माना जाता है. It can be like they are maybe averse from any human feelings and emotions. That's a perception probably some quite a few people have in our society. Is that right?
I guess. Ronald, do you want to say something into it? Seeing your message.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
What I want to say is that basically in some of the transgenders we see, not all of them, but they have effeminate characteristics, especially in male. Although they are male, but they behave and their flair is of a woman.
Yeah. Okay, that's correct. That's one form of trans person. That's correct. Right. And why do you think, understanding of the term gender? So we just, basically we enumerated, we spoke about a woman can be or is perceived to be sensitive, caring, nurturing, whereas a man in our societies is perceived to be bold, courageous, earner, provider, decision maker. Am I right when I say that these are all human characteristics and they are interchangeable? So a man can also be sensitive, caring, nurturing, and taking care of everybody, and a female can also be a provider, bold, courageous, and a decision maker. And some may have few of these attributes. Am I right when I say that? So they are, now who's assigning these roles? कि ये सभ्य होनी चाहिए, सुशील होनी चाहिए, या सर्वगुण संपन्न होनी चाहिए, ऐसा होना चाहिए. अगर लड़का सुशील है तो लड़का सुशील कैसे होगा, क्या क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, कौन डिसाइड कर रहा है अल्टीमेटली? समाज हमारे लिए डिसाइड करता है कि हम खुद हमारे लिए डिसाइड करते हैं? समाज की कुछ धाराएं होते हैं, उसकी वजह से these characteristics are attributed rightly or wrongly. And unfortunately, trans persons are not even counted most of the time. जैसे कि मैंने आपसे पूछा, what are the characteristics? There was a lot of hesitation in saying that what are the possible characteristics? What characteristics I just stated, be it for courageous, bold, sensitivity, caring, can also be attributed to a trans person. Correct? Now, these are all roles which are assigned to a particular gender. What gender I'm born with or what sex I'm assigned with may not be the characteristics I may want to post in front of the society. So I may be a woman, but I may want to pose as a man. I may not want to pose as any gender. Do you all have, I have only enlisted 3 genders in front of you today. Do you know how many genders are there in this world? Recognized genders, you can take a wild guess. I've just mentioned 3 over here. But when it comes to gender, how many genders are there? Would anybody like to guess? Say a wild guess. 5. Ronald says 5. Thank you, Ronald. There are 67 recognized genders. Gender is a form of expression I may choose, and it's only counting. It's a permutation and combination. Sometimes I may feel effeminate, sometimes I may feel manly, sometimes I don't want to display any sort of characteristics which are attributed to a particular man or a woman. Right? Again, because the conversation is changing. And why do you think we need to have a recognition ki aurat aisa hona chahiye, aadmi aisa hona chahiye? And why is this conversation even relevant to our conversation today? Because we are trying to ungender the posh law. If posh law is specific to a particular gender, it's also a result of how over a period of time and centuries, a particular gender has been stereotyped and boxed into having certain characteristics. Like Kanika also mentioned correctly that women are considered the weaker section of the society, right? Even the Constitution of India considered women, rightly or wrongly, you may not agree with it, but that's the fact. Women are considered the weaker section of the society. I'm not saying it, the Constitution of India is saying it. If you ask a woman who's from urban woman like me, I would say, what are you talking? I'm empowered, I'm independent. But that is not the story for thousands of millions of women in our country, right? Hence, because of the stereotype that exists, in rightly or wrongly, is because of which a particular law and laws in favor of a particular gender are made. Now, in order to break the shackles, in order to have more wider and broader conversations, we need to open up and understand more about where is these emotions coming from. How can we overcome those stereotypes? So how are those stereotypes formed? Kyun hum decide karte hain? Am I right when I say that stereotypes are a function of the society? That's one part of it. But how are these stereotypes even created? Advertisements in movies, do you think they add to the narrative of how a woman, man, trans person should be? How a trans person depicted in in movies? Trans persons are depicted as a joke. They're not even considered as human beings. For the longest time in our country, we were not even considering them as human beings. Only in 2014, they got recognition as a third gender. Before that, they were not even considered as a gender or having any rights, unfortunately. right? So advertisements, movies, you have all the detergent ads and all the household items ad, which are supposed to be done by women, and there are the motorcycle ads and the cement ads where men normally take the forefront. Correct? So again, those notions are also changing. You have, movies and advertisements which are much broader in perspective nowadays. Our culture is also such, like we assign certain roles about what should be an ideal person, man, woman, and all of that. Our education system also. I always use this example, which is very close to mine. This is a very personal example when it came to stereotyping, which I realized at a very early age that I am only able to do a particular job, because when I wanted to take woodwork, which is carpentry in my school, I was told, sorry, you cannot do woodwork, you're a girl, you need to go and do needlework instead. So again, but now when I see and I go back to my school, and I did go back to my school, and I just see that it's no longer gender specific. Everybody is allowed to do whatever they want to do. So again, when you start having these conversations, and they become relevant, because at the end of the day, it does matter, because the society is changing, the conversation and the narratives are changing, and we do have a judgment which has already decriminalized 377. But we also have a judgment which also realizes that POSH does not really, or sexual harassment need not only happen to a woman, and cannot only be done by a man. It can also be done by any gender. They have, and this is a very latest judgment, one of the latest judgment that we have had, where it's extremely progressive and forward-looking, where the Calcutta High Court said that, look, we are talking about same genders and same-sex marriages. Why can't we evolve in the possibility that even same-gender sexual harassment can take place? Right? So again, this is which I thought we should share in this forum today. And then, would you all agree with me that all of us have, irrespective of the gender we belong to, we all have personal space and personal boundaries? Am I right when I say that? We all have personal space, personal boundaries? Yeah. What are personal boundaries?
Everybody has the rights to decide their own.
Yeah. And is it specific to a particular gender? So अगर मैं औरत हूँ या मैं कोई भी gender से belong करती हूँ, तो मेरी इतनी boundary होनी चाहिए, या मैं अगर मर्द हूँ तो मेरी boundary थोड़ी wide हो सकती है या कम हो सकती है? Is it gender specific or it is person specific? Am I right when it's person specific? It can also change from person to person. It may also change from time again. But ultimately, मेरी जो मर्यादा है, जो लिमिट है, जो जिसे लक्ष्मण रेखा भी कहते हैं, वो कौन डिसाइड करता है? हमारी मर्यादा कौन तय करता है? कोई और डिसाइड कर सकते हैं हमारे लिए? हमारी पर्सनल स्पेस क्या है? हमारी पर्सनल स्पेस सिर्फ हम ही तय कर सकते हैं, irrespective of whichever background, community, whatever education background, जो जिससे हम आते हैं, हमारी पर्सनल बाउंड्रीज उस पर डिपेंड होती है, हमारी कल्चर पे भी डिपेंडेंट। There was an instance जहाँ पे एक बहुत मतलब एक ऐसे कल्चर के थे जहाँ पे उन्होंने ज्यादा ऑपोजिट जेंडर से कभी बात नहीं करी, और फिर वो ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में आ गए जहाँ पे सभी जेंडर्स एक दूसरे से गले मिल रहे हैं, लड़के लड़की एक दूसरे से गले मिल रहे हैं, उनको लगा अरे मेरे साथ मतलब मुझे भी, और एक ऐसे ही उनके पास आई महिला और उनसे गले मिलने का ट्राई किया, तो उनको लगा अरे मुझे या शायद मुझसे प्यार करने लग गई है। So again, their own personal boundaries is a reflection of your culture, your experiences, how you have been brought up in whatever environment. But ultimately, you have to decide your personal space. लेकिन जब आपकी personal space violate होती है and they have a sexual connotation, that's where it comes within the behavior of sexual harassment. Yeah. Do you have any questions or any observations so far? Okay. Now, अगर हम sexual harassment की बात करते हैं, there is a specific law, as probably everybody knows, Sexual Harassment of Women at the Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act of 2030. This law was a result of and was an aftermath of two horrendous gang rape, one of Bhavri Devi back in 1997, and it sort of escalated and was triggered. The passing of this law was triggered after the Nirbhaya incident. So ये दो गैंग रेप्स के बाद हमें ऐसा लगा कि नहीं अभी हमें प्रोटेक्शन के लिए एक लॉ चाहिए. That's how this law came into existence. This law is only covered for women at workplaces. इसका मतलब है सारे सेक्टर्स को कवर करता है, ऑर्गेनाइज्ड सेक्टर्स as well as unorganized sectors. जिन organization से have more than 10 employees, they need to comply with the law. Certain compliances are required. एक कमेटी होती है जिसके बारे में हम थोड़ी देर में बात करेंगे और समझेंगे, लेकिन उसके अलावा we also need to understand the essence of the law. ये law sexual harassment का मतलब क्या होता है, ये क्या क्या कवर करता है इसकी श्रेणी में. Does anybody have any idea of what is sexual harassment? अगर आप मुझे बता सकते हैं तो बहुत ही अच्छा होगा. आपके हिसाब से क्या कवर हो सकता है sexual harassment? Sorry, I cannot. Yeah. Anything that obvious answers भी हम कर सकते हैं. Sexual harassment क्या क्या की श्रेणी में क्या क्या आ सकता है? Anything unwanted touch, all right? Anything else? Thank you, Shreya.
इवन विदाउट टच अगर उस तरह से हम देखेंगे किसी को, पॉइंट आउट करेंगे, दैट इज आल्सो कम्स अंडर सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट. और विदाउट कंसेंसस आल्सो वो भी सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट के अंदर आता है.
जी जी जी. सो विदाउट कंसेंट, जो आपने बहुत ही अच्छा वर्ड यूज किया, विदाउट एनी कंसेंट कोई भी एक्ट करेंगे और उसमें अगर सेक्सुअल कॉनोटेशन रहेगा, आप देख भी रहे हैं उस तरह से, तो भी सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट की श्रेणी में आ सकता है. राइट. अनवांटेड टच. और कोई आंसर है? थैंक यू हेमंत. और कोई है जो बताना चाहेगा, जो शेयर करना चाहेगा? क्या किसी को बोल के हम सेक्सुअली हैरेस कर सकते हैं? कुछ कहा, कुछ टच नहीं किया, सिर्फ बोला.
Yes, physical is also
yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So the definition is extremely wide of sexual harassment. It has to be unwelcome. और कभी-कभी तो इसका definition इतना wide है कि अगर ये even if it's directed towards the recipient or not, but it's in the environment of the recipient, even that gets covered. That's how wide the ambit and scope of sexual harassment is. And intention does not really matter, but we'll get into that conversation in a bit. So अगर मैं इसको break down करूँ as per the law कि क्या क्या instances cover होते हैं. Firstly, the physical, verbal, even visual form से किसी को मैंने कोई भी गंदा वीडियो भेज दिया या ऐसे कुछ, वो भी sexual harassment वे की श्रेणी में कवर होता है. मैं काम करने की जगह बैठी हूँ और वहां पे कुछ लोग बहुत जोर से कुछ डबल मीनिंग जोक्स पास कर रहे हैं बार बार. हर बार जब मैं कैफेटेरिया में जाती हूँ, मेरे को वही जोक सुनने मिलता है. कैफेटेरिया में बैठने का मेरा भी हक है, लेकिन मुझे, और इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ कौन बोल रहा है, इट कैन बी अ ग्रुप ऑफ गाइज एंड गर्ल्स एज वेल, एंड दिस इज एन एक्चुअल केस दैट वी हैंडल, जहाँ पे एक लड़की जाती थी, और लड़का लड़की दोनों एक्चुअली जाते थे, और वहां पे जो ग्रुप बैठा था जिसमें लड़का और लड़की दोनों शामिल थे, और ये लोग जोर से ऐसे जोक्स रोज लंच टाइम पे पास करते थे एक दूसरे के साथ. सो क्योंकि वो कॉन्वर्सेशन में सेक्सुअल कॉन्टेशन था, the environment was violated because of that, and it that come under the category of sexual harassment. So आप देख सकते हैं कितना वाइड है ambit and scope. अब क्योंकि हम सारे लोग वर्चुअल है, वर्चुअल स्पेस, हमें लगा कि जब लॉकडाउन स्टार्ट होगा शायद इंस्टेंसेस कम हो जाएंगे, बट ऐसा नहीं हुआ था, and instances were on the rise. Unfortunately, we came up with new words like Zoom bombing and doxing. Social media के through बहुत सारे instances आ गए. Zoom bombing, doxing किसी ने सुना है? Have you heard of the term Zoom bombing and doxing? So अगर एक Zoom call है, यहाँ पे कोई uninvited आ जाता है guest और starts putting up content which is inappropriate or has a sexual overtone to it, that's what was considered as Zoom bombing. Right? Doxing is when you put private information in a very derogatory manner of any person over any social media or any other online platform. That's called doxing. So again, these terms we did not know of before the pandemic hit us, and now we have come to know of this. And और कोई भी form के violences में, yeah, many instances also falls to. I will discuss that, Jyoti. Yes, I'm not ruling out that possibility. अगर sexual harassment reality है, so malicious complaints भी reality है, unfortunately. But we'll come to that in a bit. As far as जो reason है sexual harassment का, in our experience of handling the cases that we have also seen that most of the times what happens is that कोई भी form of violence or abuse ले लीजिए, अगर आपके पास power होता है और किसी के पास power होता है, तो उसे misuse करने का भी हक शायद उनको मिल जाता है. So a lot of times, a lot of instances, what you see out, statistically speaking, be it in the public domain or be it even posh at work when I see the statistics, most of the cases are instances of abuse of power. If I have the power, I will harass you. If you don't give me what I want, I will take away from you what you need. But if you give me what I want, I will give you what you need. right? Unfortunately, that is exactly how a lot of times sexual harassment cases also work. Having said all of that, we also need to understand that what is not sexual harassment. When I'm putting all these things on the screen right now, which you see of making racist or discriminatory remarks or things like that, if they are without sexual overtones, then they do not come under sexual harassment, right? Why is this important to know? Because as there is a specific law on sexual harassment, and only those instances are covered, not which are coming under other forms of harassment or workplace harassment. So drawing the distinction between the two is helping us understand कि ये law की श्रेणी में क्या क्या आएगा और ये law की श्रेणी में क्या नहीं आएगा, right? Okay, so अब मुझे बताइए, do you think sexual harassment in the workplace impacts only the parties? What are your views on it? I just want a true or a false. अगर आप chat में डाल सकते हैं, आपको लगता है sexual harassment workplace impacts only the parties? The whole workplace, that's correct. False. Okay. It impacts all. Exactly. Right. When you say all, what all, whom do all are you counting in? Okay, so would it be right for me to say what you see on the screen now? It impacts everybody, the parties, the families of the parties, even the organization, even the committee. And what is the nature of impact? It's mental, emotional. It's also reputational. It's financial. And I don't need to say, yeah, stakeholders, parties, families, organizations. Precisely, Sneha. Thank you very much. Exactly what I'm saying. So again, it's a misnomer if you think that only the parties involved get impacted in mentally or emotionally, but there's a lot of reputational and financial damage, not to the parties or the families, but also the organization and internal committees. So it does impact everybody, and even your co-workers, everybody gets impacted adversely, unfortunately. Now, we need to learn of ways how to navigate them, but am I right when I say that impact supersedes the intent? Am I right when I say that? आप किसको ज्यादा महत्व देंगे? कोई भी एक्ट होता है तो इम्पैक्ट को ज्यादा महत्व देते हैं या इंटेंशन को ज्यादा महत्व देना चाहिए? What according to you will supersede what?
May I say something?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, of course, intent has its place, and knowing whether the person wanted to do what he did or she did is definitely will reduce, like it will change, it will alter the image of the act. But if but it doesn't change the impact. Maybe they did not do it with an intention, but the impact stays the same.
Sure. Exactly. Right. So because of the nature of the act and behavior that we're talking about, impact, even as per the law, impact supersedes intent. In fact, to determine or to take even note of a case, intent is rarely considered. It's not like criminal law जहाँ पे हम mens rea या criminal intention देखते हैं. This is a civil law जहाँ पे quasi judicial body जो committee है वो देखती है. हम उसमें भी जाएंगे थोड़ी देर में, but वहाँ पे intention का कोई महत्व नहीं होता. लेकिन जब डिसीजन लेना होता है कोई भी चीज में, अगर आपको डिटरमाइन करना है कि एक एक्ट हुआ है कि नहीं, जब इंक्वायरी होती है तब उसमें इंटेंशन देखा जाता है. ओके, not to determine whether an action has taken place or we should even look into it, but ultimately to determine what kind of action needs to be taken. If it is certain that yes, this incident has happened, then secondary what is considered is the intention part of it. And this also became very evident in one of the cases recently of Delhi High Court, which in which इसमें क्या हुआ था कि इन्होंने इनकी कर्मचारी की बेटी ने 11 लोगों को वो फॉर्म में कोई गलत वीडियो भेज दिया था. ये Unfortunately, it was a mistake, and immediately जैसे उनको पता चला, उन्होंने सारे 11 लोगों को पर्सनली मैसेज किया, फोन किया, अपोलोजाइज किया, लेकिन फिर भी 2 लोगों ने इस पे ऑफेंस लिया और उन्होंने केस फाइल कर दिया. एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ विच उनको टर्मिनेट कर दिया गया. लेकिन जब ये कोर्ट में चैलेंज किया गया, कोर्ट ने बोला ठीक है, ये हुआ था, ये गलती है, ये नहीं होना चाहिए था, इसकी सजा भी मिलनी चाहिए, लेकिन टर्मिनेशन सजा नहीं है. इट वाज एन इनएडवर्टेंट मिस्टेक, राइट? यू हैव टू बी मोर केयरफुल. But उनको terminate नहीं किया गया, but उनको demote किया गया, and there was some other action of not contacting them and all of that was taken. So intention is not completely ruled out when it comes to IC inquiries. अब internal committee कौन होती है? इस law के अंतर्गत अगर आपके ऑफिस में या आपके वर्क प्लेस पे 10 से ज्यादा लोग काम करते हैं तो ये कमिटी ही ऐसे केसेस यानी कि पॉश केसेस देख सकती है, एसएच केसेस देख सकती है। इस कमिटी में इज हेडेड बाय अ फीमेल सीनियर वुमेन एम्प्लॉय। 50% महिलाएं होती हैं, जिसका मतलब बाकी सारे 50% पुरुष भी हो सकते हैं और होते भी हैं। इसका टर्म होता है 3 years और इसमें एक एक्सटर्नल मेंबर की भी जरूरत होती है। अब आईसी मेंबर्स पे थोड़े बहुत रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि अगर कोई कंप्लेंट फाइल नहीं कर पा रहा है, उनको मदद करनी चाहिए। यूएसपी जो होती है इंटरनल कमेटी की कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, क्योंकि टाइम बाउंड प्रोसेस होता है। यहाँ पे बहुत सारे लॉयर्स प्रेजेंट, आपको सबको पता है, वी बी फूलिंग आवरसेल्व्स इफ वी से दैट कोई भी कोर्ट में जाता है केस और इमीडिएटली फैसला हो जाएगा, राइट? कोर्ट का जितना टाइम लगता है वो हम भी नहीं बता सकते एज लॉयर्स। आई एम अ लिटिगेशन लॉयर माई सेल्फ। सो but USP of this committee is that यहाँ पे strict timelines है, जहाँ पे 90 days में, and in our experience they do really do complete most of the times, 99% of the times they do complete the inquiries within 90 days, जहाँ पे रिस्पोंडेंट को भी कॉपी मिलती है। एक फैक्ट फाइंडिंग होता है जहाँ पे दोनों साइड्स को इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी दी जाती है टू लुक इनटू इंस्टेंसेस एंड टू लुक इनटू व्हाट मस्ट रियली हैव हैपेंड। देयर इज आल्सो प्रोविजंस इन द लॉ टू, अगर किसी के ऊपर कोई रिटेलिएशन हो रहा है, विक्टिमाइजेशन हो रहा है, तो उसके लिए भी प्रोविजंस है, बहुत ही स्पेसिफिकली लेड डाउन है इन द लॉ। तो किस तरह की कंप्लेंट्स देखेंगे इंटरनल कमेटी? जहाँ पे सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट हुआ है, लेकिन 2 चीजें का ध्यान रखना बहुत जरूरी है। Sexual harassment has to happen against a current employee of an organization and has to take place at the workplace. Do you think WhatsApp chats workplace की श्रेणी में आ सकते हैं? If I am harassing somebody through WhatsApp, do you think that can be covered by an organization? Yes, no. WhatsApp.
Yes.
Yeah, a video call like this. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So the workplace definition is also extremely wide, just as the SH definition that we saw. लेकिन अगर वर्क प्लेस पे नहीं हुआ है तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं देखेगी, अगर करंट एम्प्लॉय के अगेंस्ट में नहीं है तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं देखेगी। सो ये सारे 3 क्राइटेरिया होना बहुत बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है। और बोथ साइड्स के राइट्स होते हैं, जैसे कि मैंने बताया, एक फेयर प्रोसेस है और फेयर प्रोसेस होता है मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स, जहाँ पे इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है दोनों को अपना साइड रखने के लिए। अगर एक को डॉक्यूमेंट दिया जाता है तो दूसरे को भी डॉक्यूमेंट दिया जाता है। अगर एक को मौका दिया जाता है विटनेस लाने के लिए तो ये कमेटी दूसरे को भी मौका देना चाहिए उन्हें, बिकॉज दे हैव टू फॉलो समथिंग कॉल्ड द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस। आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ द लॉयर्स इन द ग्रुप मस्ट बी अवेयर ऑफ इट। जिनको नहीं पता मैं बता देती हूँ। It has to mean that equally both the parties have to be heard, have to be heard. At the same time, you cannot judge anybody just on the face value, right? That is the crux, and that is the underlying principle that the IC members have to follow at all times. It's a non-negotiable. In fact, अगर जहाँ पे भी courts ने देखा है कि ये process principles of natural justice follow नहीं हुए हैं, उन्होंने penalty भी लगाई है, which is run into crores and lakhs of rupees. We have had judgments right from a Global Health to Novasoft Technologies who have been badly penalized for coming up and not adhering to principles of natural justice during the process, right? So this is the right of both the parties. अगर आप खुश नहीं हैं IC कोई भी decision से, you can also file an appeal, and the whole entire process is supposed to be confidential, right? Just IC members are bound by confidential, complainant, respondent, सारे लोगों को confidentiality फॉलो करनी ही पड़ती है। अगेन अगर वो भी फॉलो नहीं किया तो उसके भी repercussions है in the law, right? So far, do we have any questions before I move on to the second half? Okay. So we have seen, like, there are certain steps which we've seen in our experience which go a long way, and we've seen the impact, right? It's not a happy occasion for any of the parties involved in a process like this. The IC is also aware, and in my experience, when I started off in the year 5 years back with my firm, of course, I've been practicing since 2013 when the law is in existence, and much before that even. But I'm on the fact that, how has the attitude and approach changed over a period of time? Has it changed for the better or for the worst? I would say it's been a mixed bag, but mostly for the better, where they are cognizant and they are aware of the sensitivities that need to be implied, just not to the complainant, but also to the respondent or whoever the party is. So there are certain steps that we have also, taken up to ensure that we are giving an equal chance and a level playing field to both the parties. So there are certain steps that we are mindful of before any inquiry starts. Why am I saying we? Because we, as what at the firm also act as external members on internal committee of various organizations. So what that does is it exposes us to inquiries of sexual harassment. And we've seen certain things that go a long way in understanding and ensuring that we are on the right side and we're giving equal opportunity and hearing both the sides sensitively. And I'm using that word very, very carefully. So we usually whenever we file a complaint or कोई भी complaint आ जाती है तो हम एक introductory meeting करते हैं दोनों के साथ में अलग-अलग, दोनों के साथ में मतलब complainant and the respondent, और दोनों को बताया जाता है कि उनके rights क्या है, आपके पास क्या-क्या options है, आपके पास time है, आपको copy दी जाएगी, आपको उसका response देना है, and उन्हें ये मीटिंग बहुत ही स्पेसिफिकली बताते हैं कि एग्जैक्टली उनको क्या एक्सपेक्ट करना चाहिए. That's what is exactly told to them. If any of the parties are disturbed, then we also have, and nowadays a lot of organizations do have EAP or counselors within their organizations. So that is also by way of right that the party can ask for. That, hey, look, this is not something that, and this is not, this is a very difficult time for me, mentally and emotionally, and I would want to reach out to help for help, and that help is also bound to be provided by the organization. I was talking about confidentiality and how is that really maintained is that we do insist on filing of NDAs for all the people involved, right? If anybody does breach that NDA, it can also amount to maybe suspension and even termination from the workplace. That's how the NDAs are also worded. This is steps that we take. Even during the process, there has to be sufficient amount of transparency or assistance in understanding each of the process. जैसे कि मैंने बताया कि documents और witnesses दोनों side को लाने को मिलता है. अगर कोई document complainant दे रहा है तो respondent को देखने मिलेगा and vice versa. Again, during the process, अगर किसी को कोई भी तरीके का mental health concerns हो रहे हैं, emotional turmoil if they are facing, they can approach the EAPs also. We have directed them towards them. Of course, checking on breach of confidentiality, because the biggest fear and stigma attached is that there may be a reputational damage. And again, being cognizant of that, being aware and ensuring, doing all things that you can do in your capacity to ensure that confidentiality is not breached. And lastly, even after the inquiry process is over, there is something called as findings report that is given to both the parties. If both of them are employees, then you need to give them a findings report before you come to a decision, and allow both the parties to come back with representations if they want. This is again a part of the law. You cannot give the IC committee cannot give any recommendations for allegations that are not proven. And it has to be in proportion to the kind of allegation. It's not that they have to recommend termination for each and every form of sexual harassment. We all seen how varied it is, right? Kisi ko aapne galat message bheja, that is also sexual harassment in a way, right? Does that merit termination? Not necessarily in each and every case. So it has to be in proportionate to whatever allegation has been proven, okay, not otherwise. That's also very, very categorically mentioned in the law. And this is the last part of what I'm about to say, and I just want to know if everybody is with me so far. Are there any questions on the process before I discuss on some of the organizational steps that we have seen people taking, and there has been a change, which has been for the positive, but still a lot left to be desired in many ways as well. But yeah, nonetheless. Go ahead. I think somebody was speaking.
So I want to ask just one question.
Yes.
That we all know, like I wrote an article, that is how I came into touch with Mr. Rajan. And I am a posh trainer, so I know that how Genpact has not followed the process, okay? And the two women who have misused it. And I want to know why they were not punished and why there is not enough voice, because I think law का पूरा जिसे कहते हैं कि जिस वजह से बनाया गया था वो पूरा ही वो हो जाता है अगर इस तरह की कोई घटना हो जाए तो. And I don't think कि स्वरूप कमजोर रहा होगा या क्या रहा होगा, helpless हो जाते हैं. I am dealing with such men. I know how helpless they feel at that time. And उनको ये पता होता है कि हमने लाइफ भर बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत की, आई एम टैक्स पेयर, मैं सारे रूल्स रेगुलेशंस मान रहा हूँ, फिर one woman comes and does this, so he has nowhere to go, and they are not. Genpact has actually not followed the POSH process properly. Confidentiality तो थी ही नहीं उसमें. I want to know why there is not enough voice against it. and why there is no action taken still. So sir ही बता पाएंगे, Rajan sir ही बता पाएंगे what is exactly happening in this case. I don't see enough voice.
I'm not sure whether Rajan sir would want to comment here, but unfortunately, I'm not in a good place to talk about Swaroop's case because I was not handling or aware of whatever was transpired. My information is also based on whatever information is out there in the media, which I don't consider as very appropriate information personally. But I think the best person to talk about Swaroop's case will be Mr. Rajan, since he was personally involved. I can't comment on that, Jyoti, but I can comment on the aspect of malicious complaints, if at all. Just as you cannot come to a conclusion that a person has committed SH without doing inquiry, same logic is applicable to malicious complaint also. I've also mentioned categorically that how there are repercussions or consequences if confidentiality is breached. Again, I can't speak for Genpact as to, I'm not sure as to what really happened in that case in terms of the inquiry process that was followed. What was the reality that only people involved will be able to tell. But in case, supposing if there is a breach of confidentiality, like I said, there is also penalty which can go up. And we have had cases where parties have gone ahead and spoken to, even the complainant for that matter has gone ahead and spoken to other people, trying to influence the witnesses. We have called that out and taken action also against complainants. So it's not like people are not raising their voice, but yes, would it be effective if more people raise their voice, if more people start talking about it? Yes. Even this law has taken its own sweet time to come. But not to say that, not to undermine the fact that ultimately it will be in the hands of a lot of people, including the people against whom the cases are filed, to come up and say that, okay, look, I want to raise my voice. I want to put forth my case. A lot of aspects are considered. Also, the IC, I cannot stress enough. We've had companies who have told us, please complete the IC training. This is not an important part for us. But that attitude has also changed.
I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you, but if I can add something on this.
Sure.
So basically, when it so I'm a POS trainer as well, and I'm a government empaneled resource person also. So with regards to what you're saying right now, I agree to that. However, what is important over here is that the preconceived notions of IC, because personally, I have seen a lot of IC members who have preconceived notions of women being only victim and men not being there. And even, in certain cases where there is a conciliation, which is right before the inquiry, still there are many cases, many investigation companies who would come ahead and just say, you know what, एक सॉरी बोलने में क्या चला जाएगा उस आदमी का, चला जाएगा यार, उसका रेपुटेशन जा रहा है, he is accepting for something which he has not done. So I think it's a high time for all of us as IC members, as society, to not have those preconceived notions. And I think that's exactly what Jyoti Tiwari was talking right now.
Sure.
And somewhere as IC members, we have to stand up as external members, as POSH consultants, or as people who are drafting anti-sexual harassment policies, to make sure that there is an inclusiveness, because we do talk about diversity and inclusion, but we hardly see that in terms of men. And that's required.
That's true. And I would also want to highlight how, what you mentioned about the IC process and the understanding of what is bias also. We all are biased by nature, right? But to recognize that and to have eliminate that notion or perception of that person coming in front of me, that is the biggest challenge that IC members face. Do they have more awareness of that than they had before? Yes. Do they still need to have more of it? Of course, yes. For a lot of organizations, I think Jyoti, Sneha, both of you will agree, it's more like a checkbox thing. They just want an IC training for the heck of it. They don't really want an IC training to understand the nuances and the sensitivity involved, right? And that's an unfortunate reality. But I know a lot of organizations, mostly big organizations, I'm not going to name any of them, but who have taken upon themselves, and we have regular, rigorous trainings as well.
Correct.
For them to understand this very thing, that you have to respect both the sides. You have to ensure, because you have to be sensitive to both the sides, right? Also, zero tolerance does not really mean zero tolerance unless it's proven.
Correct. Unless it's simply
what is it? Exactly. So again, all of those aspects cannot be ruled out.
Correct.
Only when you start talking about these things will you have some change.
Yeah. That's
what.
So that's exactly.
Sorry, Sneha, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was also thinking. And if we can have more sensitization. So when we conduct IC training programs as well, there are a lot of questions from the IC members with regards to what is sexual harassment and they could not differentiate between what is harassment and what is harassment other than sexual.
Yeah.
And then they get confused, blatantly confused between the policy as well as what does the act say. Does it imply to only to women? Is it only men? A lot of things.
Yeah.
Correct. So I think sensitization
Absolutely.
from a base level, from the grassroots level, is more important, irrespective of whatever gender fluidity and genders that we have.
I agree with that, Sneha. In fact, that's one of the points that you see. I think that we're talking about diversity and inclusion.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, please don't be. It's fine. Thank you so much for putting your viewpoint as well.
Absolutely.
And the fact that about it's not only textbook, right? You don't want to just make it theoretical. You also want to walk the talk, and if you want to follow the law in letter and spirit. The thing that you didn't realize is this law was not meant to only prevent. Of course, it's for prevention and prohibition and redressing of sexual harassment, but it's also to create a healthy work environment. In fact, the very first duty of an employer which is enlisted under this law, under Section 19, is to create a respectful environment. So again, that cannot be negated in any sense of the word. And I think I'll just take forward Sneha's point about practical training and understanding for IC members about the nuances, having more conversations about just gender ideas and what is appropriate behavior. What do you mean by consent? I mean, consent is also a very convoluted term, unfortunately, in our society. I'm not getting into that conversation again, but understanding what is consent, having a single point of access for that, I know that this is my go-to person. A lot of times organizations do not even have awareness about who's the go-to person if I'm having these challenges, who's the go-to person if I'm facing mental health issues. And mental health in our country, I think I'd just like to end there, that mental health in our country is looked down upon. It cannot be कि ये पागल है. इस हिसाब से अगर आपको सर्दी बुखार होता है तो आप डॉक्टर के पास जाते हो, वैसे आपके दिमागी हमारे दिमाग में इतना सब चलता रहता है, हमारा एक्टिव दिमाग कितना चलता रहता है, एक टाइम पे हमारे thousands of thoughts and hundreds and lakhs of thoughts चलते रहते हैं. So imagine the impact it has on our mental health. It's okay to go and talk and seek professional help. It should not be looked down upon. We have started having this conversation now. अगर कोई psychiatrist या psychologist के पास जाता है, इसका मतलब you cannot come to a conclusion कि वो पागल है. That's a very wrong notion. So whole ideas and notions about mental health also need to change to a great extent in our country, right? Conversation has started, but still lots of ground to cover there. Yeah, but this is it from my end. Thank you so much. I hope I was able to shed some light on the aspects that you wanted me to cover, but yeah. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take as well. But...
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was indeed an enlightening session for everybody, and there's many perspectives which we were also looking forward for some answers and looking forward into it. Before getting down, so I would like, anybody wants to ask anything from Sana ma'am, then we can just invite family members and friends of Swaroop sir. All right. So I guess,
think, Kanika, we can bring in the well-wishers and relatives and friends of Swaroop to join our session now, because many of them have been waiting for a while, and let's hear from them if that's okay.
All right. So thank you so much, Sana ma'am. It was indeed a pleasure. And now we'll just ask so ma'am, I'll just want to highlight one line of yours that I guess touched my heart. So she was very well said, one line: you cannot judge anyone by its face value. So I guess that is the main line and main theme of our whole session also. So this is what happened with Swaroop sir case also. So for that, I'll just request Rajan sir, father of Swaroop sir, and just to come forward and maybe memorize some memory of Swaroop sir, so and we could all join with him. Sir, you're muted. You have to unmute. Sir, you are muted right
now. Good evening and thank you everybody. Every year I have to say, I have to take only on words, the same words. Also, I am not a good speaker. So anyway, the things have been happened and I lost my son. So I need justice. You all are with me, I know. I don't know how to speak, please. The people, the others, my Swaroop's friend, well-wishers are there. They will speak about Swaroop, please. Thank you.
Jyoti Pandey ma'am says she wants to leave. So before she leaves, if she could add a few words.
I think I said already जो भी मुझे बोलना था, but yes, I always think of Swaroop as some soul connection with him, and that's why I keep talking to his father. I don't know why. From some unknown reason, I wrote an article. I was so touched by that death that I was like, ये और नहीं होना चाहिए. मैं थक गई थी सुन के. That's why maybe some of my words were harsh. Sana, if they were harsh, please apologize. My apologies, because this case always haunts me. और जब भी ये time आता है, I feel really emotional. I'm at a family function, बाहर खड़े होके मैं बात कर रही हूँ because I don't want them to see this face.
No offense taken, Jyoti. Don't worry about it.
More power to you. We are साथ team. आप लोग हमेशा आते हो, and it's very good that हम लोग ऐसे इकट्ठे होते हैं और बात करते हैं. मैं उसको नहीं जानती, but maybe he's watching us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I guess we all can feel the pain of Rajan sir equally, even though we haven't met Swaroop sir, but sir, yes, we can also feel your pain. We have Sneha ma'am also with us. She was also attached with this thing, ma'am. If you could just enlighten us with 2 words.
I don't have words enough to express what exactly is going on in my mind right now. And with regards to Swaroop, I hope he gets his justice. Justice delayed is justice denied for sure. And obviously, I mean, it becomes, every year it becomes difficult, all the more as the year passes by, for him to get the justice. And I always feel that, his hard work should not be, I mean, I don't know. I'm so sorry, Kanika. I can't really put in words right now. I'm quite emotional. But all I could say is that the justice should be given to this. And there are a lot of men who are looking forward to this fight, who can make, who can make sure that they are safe at work as well. Since we have seen so much about women being, victimized, and we have made precautionary measures and provisions for them. We definitely need something for men as well, and I think POSH should become gender neutral soon. And also the interim measures needs to be predefined very well, and it should be it should be taught to the IC members in such a way where they are not demeaning a respondent just because there is an allegation which is not yet proved. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. We have Madhav Anand sir. Sir, please unmute and remember Swaroop sir once.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for organizing the session, everyone at VR Saath, and the resource person, Ms. Hakeem. Thank you for your session. I'm here. I was also here last year, but the reason why I kind of attend this is not with an expectation that things are going to change anytime fast, because the truth is things are too convoluted politically, judicially. The law, the society are too much into this whole affair with their own particular concerns, where the powerful upholds the law in their own way and excludes people who are not powerful. Usually the understanding is that the male gender is the more powerful one, and it has been sold pretty well by the markets, whether it's the film industry market or whatever industry. But if the words of a Now, it might look like I'm trying to make it a man versus woman, but no, I'm just putting out the facts, which is why we have all gathered here today. If the words of a woman is enough to convey that it was a rape, to convey that it was a molestation, to convey that it was a sexual harassment, then clearly the scales are not balanced. And the myth of male power is actually a myth, and there's no doubt about it. And if we have to counter this in any way, we can go on countering, on debating on that. But that won't change a thing about what is the truth right now for every one of us. And PK Rajan sir, I have nothing to say in condolence because I clearly don't believe in condolences. Justice denied and condolence is an absolute mismatch of whatever we're trying to achieve. There's no peace, there's no condolence, there's no consolation as long as justice is denied. So whoever believes that, I'm sorry, I'm not making it personal against anyone, just the kind of an outpour of emotion that happens whenever cases like Swaroop come up, and which are pretty regular these days. Whether it's a girl slapping a cab driver 22 times and there's no one coming to help because the lawmakers to lawkeepers to everyone else who, kind of believes that they are the keepers of the society turn a blind eye, or a Swaroop Raj hanging himself from a ceiling fan. No one's coming to help. And we can talk about the theoretics of the society. We can talk about how men and women are different, how women have been oppressed, how men have been the oppressors, and which is why the scales need to be tilted in favor of women. And we can keep on talking about all these things. And still, 90,000 Swaroop Raj would be killing themselves every year. Even this year's National Crime Records Bureau data has put it out very clearly that how many men kill themselves against how many women. And as far as the mental health thing that Ms. Hakim was trying to focus upon, we kind of forget it that people are not killing themselves because they are just mentally depressed or upset. I'm not minusing that or canceling that. They are into depression or mental problems, but let's not forget why they are into. I'll give you one quick example. I have a problem with insomnia. I find it difficult to sleep, and it is not because of any problems, but it's just one of the issues. When I went to my counselor, the first question she asked was, "Koi case chal raha hai kya?" So it's that common. So it's that common why people are into depression, why people are into anxiety. We can keep on treating them, counseling them, giving them medicines and all that, but until and unless the real problems in the society, the bias laws, whether it's POSH or whether it's or POXO, whether it's the domestic violence 2005, whether it's 498A, whether it's 375, whether 376, whether it's the molestation 509, we can keep on talking about mental health and this and that in society, but as long as the laws don't change, nothing's going to change. Every year, 90,000 or more recorded Swaroop Raj will be hanging themselves from the ceiling fan. I'm a bit emotional right now, which is why I'm sort of blabbering. It's not who I usually am. Sorry about that if I've been a little rude. That's absolutely not my intent. Thank you, and PK Rajan sir, thank you for bearing all this every year. Thank you. I'm sorry about it.
Thank you, sir. And we all can feel your pain and emotion, sir. And I'll request any friend, any family member of Swaroop sir would like to remember him or say a few words about Swaroop sir. So please. Shriram sir, do you want to say something on this?
I also wish to see if any of Swaroop's well-wishers, especially who have joined us earlier on, if they have anything in terms of memories to share about Swaroop. Insofar as the legal proceedings are concerned, I wish to inform everyone that we have also filed a suit in the Delhi High Court for damages. At the moment, we have made it a symbolic suit that we're asking for the company to acknowledge that there has been some mistakes, so the declaration that there has been a mistake, and a symbolic compensation of a rupee. As all of us know, the idea is not to compensate a loss through money, because these losses can never be compensated. But the idea of justice is for people to acknowledge that there has been a mistake, and that acknowledgement is, in a way, justice is the concept with which this suit has been filed. I'm just informing this to everyone who's gathered here. I hope we and Rajan sir would get justice in this manner. Anyone else, Kanika, if they want to share some memories, I would again request that they can be given a chance to speak. Otherwise, I would request Deepak Prakash, advocate on record, Supreme Court, and the main backbone behind the Saath Foundation to deliver a vote of thanks.
Vote of thanks. I think so already we had the vote of. This is not the occasion to have a formal vote of thanks. This is we are all sharing our whatever from the internal part of our mind, but we are sharing the bad time of Mr. P.K. Rajan, and I'm not taking anybody by name. Last time also we did this, and we have to extend it some more better way the next year, and it must be, it have to go the entire part of the world, and such things may not be happening once again in our knowledge or anywhere it won't be happening. So I'm not giving any vote of thanks as a formal way again. We are part of who are here and part of it. Please continue, and we can all work together for the further to avoid this type of very worse situation in anybody's life. So we can feel Mr. Rajan is here with us. We can feel what is his feeling, what is his mind is going on. And 2-3 things right now, latest one case has come to me. A 47-year-old lady, her son was shot dead by the Delhi police in the name of the bikers issue. After 9 years, till today, police is not given, even filed an FIR against that. So the parents who are losing their valid, their lovable children, the most worst thing in their life. So let he have the strength to bear it and to go in a good mind to accommodate all this pain and try for the justice. Sriram is doing his best for that. Yesterday also we had discussed, we are doing our level best for that. So we'll find justice in this matter. So informally, just I'm sharing my wishes to all and sharing his feeling, and everybody, we are here, we can go ahead, and I'm not avoiding the word of thanks to do that. Kanika, you can conclude this much only.
All right, thank you so much, sir. I guess Kanaya sir wants to say something to us. So do you want to share something with us? Advocate Kanaya. So I guess you're muted. Advocate Kanaya sir, do you want to share something with us? All right. So I guess yes.
Okay.
All right. So can Shyam sir, can I move towards the conclusion?
Yes, let's do that.
All
I
right.
would wish to say, I think there are advocates like Deepak Singh, Hemant Bisht, Kanaya Chaurasya, Sunny, who have all helped me to file the suit in Patiala House. Joined, so, and of course Vishnu, my partner, is also here. So it's not a formal vote of thanks. All of them, we are all we're fighting for Rajan sir's Yes.
Sir, I would really want to thank Hemant sir because he's being a social activist and doing a lot of work into the society, and he being here and joined us for this session. And thank you so much, sir, for being here and always support us. And
Thank you so
special
much.
yeah, thank you, sir.
I'm
And special
requesting Vishnu also to say a few words.
Yeah.
Vishnu Shankar, Advocate, Supreme Court.
Yes, sir, please.
Thank you so much. But I don't think it's a place to put my words or this thing's only my prayers and Rajan Chetan for his losses and all our efforts, and always we are all with you. Be strong. We have to fight forward. That's the only thing I have to tell at this point of time. Thank you so much, Rajan Chetan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So moving towards the end, I would like to extend my wholehearted thank you to again Sana Hakim ma'am for lighting us with such wonderful words and encouraged everybody and so that they could stand for their own rights. And if we find somebody into this kind of situation, so I request everybody to kindly address that issue and not consider that men also to that he is not capable to get the justice or something. We should introduce the problem of men also to the society. Then only I guess we could bring more justice to these kind of laws. And we being a keeper of the law, protector of the law, we should stand for every person. And I guess that is what I can also say at this moment. So thank you so much, ma'am, again for your immense support to us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sana ma'am, once again on behalf of Saath Foundation. And,
Thank you, Sriram.
Thank you, everybody. I would like to extend thanks for everybody who came and joined us for the session. Thank you.
So,